Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. The completion of our first season of the NNSCRA TaxSlayer Truck Series is about to come to a close, and we have 4 drivers that are in the hunt to become the inaugural champion of the series. Getting ready here tonight for the Lucas Oil Slick Mist 200 at Auto Club Speedway. A track where it can hold them 3 wide, 4 wide. Any lane can really work here at this racetrack if you've got a fast enough truck to be able to make it work. And it's going to be the track that's going to determine who's going to be the champion. Now, how this basically goes down is 4 drivers are still in the hunt for the championship here tonight. They all come into this race completely tied up in the point standing, since none of these 4 championship competitors got any stage wins during the course of round 2. These drivers include Nick Johnson, Carter Friesen, Marcus Saatchi, and Charles Jackson. Of these drivers, 3 of them are Toyotas, 1 is a Ford. 2 drivers are teammates out of Flickinger Racing Development, and 2 of these drivers come into this race with a win in one of the other 2 series. Nick Johnson, a former winner in the Pizza Hut X Series, Charles Jackson, a former winner in Hershey's Cup Series competition. But only one here tonight will be able to claim the title of TaxSlayer Truck Series champion. What we're going to go down here tonight, basically these drivers are going to try and finish ahead of each other, which is going to be kind of hard to do here at the start because they're all starting near each other. They're starting 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th in this lineup. So they will be starting right next to each other, all 4 competitors. But they're going to try and finish the highest of each other, but also keep in mind we have stages here tonight. So if they can get up and get some stage points, that's going to be important. Of course, you get the bonus point for leading a lap. That's going to be important. If you get the bonus point for leading the most laps, that could be important as well. And I'm going to do the best that I can during the course of this race to try and keep a tally of just how many points each one of these 4 competitors have gotten, so that way I will accurately be able to tell you by time the checker flag waves who has won the championship of the TaxSlayer Truck Series. But we have another 38 drivers in this field. They want to go to victory lane just as badly and pick up the win to finish out their season. Jake Rogers, been a very consistent driver this season. 14th in the points coming into this race, but still looking for win number 1. Jonathan Zoerlein got eliminated from the Final 4 last week. He'd love to be able to finish out the season with a victory if he could. And then there's all the way back through this field. I mean, we could plead cases for every single driver in this field that wants to finish out the season with a trip to victory lane. You were given your command to fire them up, and so as the pace truck will lead them around here for 1 pace lap. And we got an issue for Jonathan Zoerlein right on the start, and somebody else had an issue on the start as well back there further in the pack. We'll have to cover that in just a moment. Zoerlein pulled into his pit stall. Maybe they'll be able to get him out before we go green. I don't know. But 40 laps of racing here tonight. And so for our 3 stages, it's going to be 15, 15, and 10. It's the completions of laps 15, 30, and 40 is when the stage points will be awarded. And the other car that had trouble at the rear of the field was Patrick Smith. And it looks like Jonathan Zoerlein may already be down and away. Yep, he's already coming back on track. So I don't know what was wrong with his race car, but whatever it was, they've gotten it fixed. Here comes that outside line. I was going to say, when are they going to catch up? Whoa, we got to slow down, guys. What are they doing? Now they're slowing down, but they got to make sure they don't cross the line before the pace car gets here. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. These guys might get penalized. Well, Zoerlein was able to resume his spot out in front. This is going to be a weird-looking start. I don't think any of our championship competitors are up in these 6. No, they aren't. Green flag's in the air. And they're scoring Seth Cole, the leader, but I don't think that's going to last long. I think these 6 are going to get a penalty. We're underway here tonight at Auto Club in a very bizarre start to our season finale. 7 trucks up here as Jonathan Zoerlein takes the what I believe is going to be the race lead. I think these 7 are going to have to come to pit road. I think they're going to get penalized. Not only did they restart ahead of the leader, Jonathan Zoerlein, but they also restarted right ahead of the pace truck, and you can't do that. And here they come. Yep. I don't know what was going on there, but some kind of communication error. And it's going to cost at least those 6 a chance at a good run, as we had it on the front straightaway. It looks like somebody nearly spun. And I don't know why Seth Cole isn't coming to pit road, because he was one of those 7. Maybe he couldn't get to pit lane last time by. Maybe he'll have to try and make it this time. And last thing you want to do is not serve a black flag, because then you could get disqualified. As Jonathan Zoerlein now will take the race lead away from Seth Cole. And let's see if the 98 is going to come to pit road this time. Yes, he is. So there you go. All those 7 that should have been penalized have been penalized, and they are coming to pit lane. And boy, tough break there for those guys, but the rule is you cannot pass the pace car before you get to the green flag, and those 7, they did. See them merging back on the track now. Tristan Allen, Gabe Williams, Ryan Brommer was a part of that. It's the battle up front between 2 former playoff contenders. Tyler Deaver in the 30. He got eliminated in round 1. Jonathan Zoerlein in the 88 got eliminated in round 2. And Jake Rogers up the middle, going to try and take 2nd place now from Jonathan Zoerlein, who's got Ryan Madden up topside with him. Jump back, who's the highest running of our playoff contenders right now? I think it was right there, Nick Johnson in the 42. Yes, it was. Nick Johnson has worked his way now up inside of the top 10. He's in the 6th position. And right now, as things would stand, if the season were to end right now, Nick Johnson would be the champion. Mention that he is a former winner in the Pizza Hut X Series, actually made the playoffs back in, I believe, it was season 1. Remember, one of his wins coming at the road course of Tula that got him into the playoffs of that series. In the playoffs here, and with a good chance of maybe being able to win the championship. What about his other 3 competitors? Back quite a ways here before you get to Charles Jackson. He's fighting right now with Stuart Gratton and Joseph Srigley. Then about maybe 3-4 cars back, you've got Carter Friesen in the 29, and right now the driver that is running the furthest back of the 4 championship competitors is M Saatchi. A lot of times we talk about momentum and that being so important heading into a season finale. Well, I think that's holding true right here. Remember, M Saatchi last week ended up finishing very, very poorly at Homestead Miami Speedway and just barely squeezed his way into being in contention in the Final 4 for the championship. He was not, by any stretch of the imagination, a very strong, dominating car. And so that momentum appears to have kind of faded for the 74 team. On the flip side, Nick Johnson last week had a really, really good run at Homestead Miami Speedway. He ended up finishing up inside the top 10 in all 3 of the stages and ended up finishing 5th for the race. And that momentum appears to have shifted over here to Auto Club. Jonathan Zoerlein has taken the race lead. Now you saw just moments ago the 3 of E Barber was on pit road. So an unscheduled stop for him, just up ahead of Jonathan Zoerlein. You've got a couple of drivers that are off the lead lap. Nicholas Raill in the 94, Michael Whitman in the 33. Those are drivers that were a part of those that passed the pace car before we went green, and as a result, they're running up ahead of the leaders, but they are not, I do not believe, on the lead lap. Actually, they are. They're on the tail end of the lead lap. And Easton Barber's out of the race in the 42nd position. So a horrible season for that 3 team ends on a rather familiar note of disappointment. Easton finishing out the season probably dead last in points, which is where he came into this race. Over 70 points back from the next competitor, which was Joshua Ciculli, 41st in the standings. Right now, Nick Johnson doing exactly what he needs to do. He's up here inside the top 5. He's been battling with Tyler Deaver and Ryan Madden the last couple of laps, but not aggressively battling them. Instead, he's just been kind of riding there, choosing his moments. Because at the current point in time, the only driver he has to worry about would be Charles Jackson, and Charles Jackson is all the way back here. Actually, correct that. Oh no, it is Charles Jackson. I was going to say, I thought I saw Carter Friesen had passed Charles Jackson, but no, he has not. Jackson's still way back here, and look at all the cars he's got to pass before he can get up there to Nick Johnson. And what makes matters worse for the 4 cars is the fact that 42 is running up inside the top 10. And we're getting close to completing our first stage, which means that Nick Johnson would get some stage points here. I mean, how about Nick Johnson? Ran 2 seasons in the Pizza X Series. One of those seasons he made it into the playoffs. Actually, I think he might have made it into the playoffs in both seasons, now that I think of it. Then decided he was going to move down to the TaxSlayer Truck Series and not run a 3rd full-time season in Pizza X, and now it looks like he'll be making the move back up to the Pizza X Series because of the fact that the top 5 in the point standings get automatic spots in Pizza X Series next season, as we had a lead change. Alex Gray goes to the top position. That's a driver we'll actually see in the Pizza X Series next season. Alex Gray moving up to the 0 in the Pizza X Series, as Patrick Curtis will be moving down to the 0 truck in the Truck Series. So Alex Gray would love to be able to head into his first full-time season. His first full-time season in the Pizza X Series as a former winner in the TaxSlayer Truck Series. And I'm just going to quickly check up on the fact that I'm pretty certain Nick Johnson made the playoffs in both seasons of the Pizza X Series. As Alex Gray going to hold off Jonathan Zoerlein for the moment. Zoerlein had a nice run there into 3 and 4 on the bottom, but that top side gets the run off the corner. Now Zoerlein may have Nick Johnson reeling him in for that position, and yes, well actually no. Nick Johnson was not in the playoffs last season in Pizza X Series, but he was a winner last year. So he made the playoffs in one of 2 Pizza X Series seasons, and he went to victory lane in both of the seasons that he ran. So that's what it was. Now going to take second place here from Jonathan Zoerlein. Ryan Madden right there with him. Ryan Madden, we've talked about the season that he's had in this race. He is the 2nd highest running driver in the point standings that didn't make it into the playoffs. The highest, Michael Whitman, but Whitman right now just barely on the tail end of the lead lap, hoping and praying for a caution. Madden has yet to go to victory lane. He's accumulated 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s, an average finish inside the top 20. If he had a win this season, there's no doubt in my mind he'd have made it into the playoffs for sure. But just apparently was not meant to be. Nick Johnson running in 2nd place with 2 laps to go here in this stage. If he continues to run where he's at, then Nick Johnson is going to get 9 stage points here for the completion of stage 1, where all his other competitors, the other 3, Jackson, Friesen, and M Saatchi, they're not even anywhere close to the top 10. But Nick Johnson, he wants 10 stage points if he can get them. He's going to go to the inside of Alex Gray through 3 and 4. No dice off that corner, that outside line, that momentum you can get off turn 4. Kicks in for the CarQuest Chevrolet, and next time by is the completion of stage 1. How much of an issue is Nick Johnson going to force here on Alex Gray? Ran a little bit higher out of 2, maybe to try and get a little bit better straightaway speed here down the back stretch. He's going to drive it to the inside. Question is, can he get alongside and get Alex Gray for the lead by the time they get back to the start-finish line? Might be a drag race between these two. I think he had to lift a little. Gray's going to battle back on the top side, and Nick Johnson will not win stage 1, but he will get 9 valuable stage points. And that puts Nick Johnson 9 points ahead of the competition. Now Jonathan Zoerlein with a big run through 1 and 2. He's going to go for 2nd, maybe even for the lead on Alex Gray out of the corner. And you notice there, none of the other 3 championship competitors were anywhere close to getting stage points here. So 9-point advantage right now for the 42. Charles Jackson finished out stage 1 back in 25th. Carter Friesen just ahead of him in 24th, and M Saatchi in 27th. It's a round where they qualified and they haven't made up any ground since. Nick Johnson's the only one that's really been able to advance his position, as he also started back in the mid-20s. Let's jump back there to that battle right now between Charles Jackson and Carter Friesen. Look, you just got to go all the way back here, and there they are. They're not even up in the lead pack right now. They're almost kind of in a battle as a couple of stragglers, and you can see the 74 just two trucks behind them. The only thing I can see possibly working out for these guys is maybe, just maybe, pit strategy. That's the only way they can possibly have this thing go in their direction, because Nick Johnson has himself in the best position possible to take this championship. And I think right now the only person that can take the championship away from him is Nick Johnson himself by making a mistake. I said it before and I'll say it again, it's that momentum that a driver carries with them into a season finale that is so important, that Nick Johnson now out in front showing the way. If he leads a lap, that's another bonus point he's going to pick up on the rest of the competition. That's exactly what he's going to do. He'll get a bonus point for a lap led, and that puts him now 10 points ahead of the competition in terms of bonus points here tonight. Johnson trying to make a statement, not just win the championship, but win the race. He's a two-time winner this season. The three of our four championship competitors coming into this race went to victory lane at least twice. Johnson, Saatchi, and Jackson. Nick Johnson's and Marcus Saatchi's took place during the playoffs. Flickinger Racing Development swept round one. So if Nick Johnson wins here tonight, it'd be his second postseason victory. Remember, I think it was Chicagoland where he ended up picking up his second win. Either Chicagoland or Oswego, and I think it was Chicagoland. It was, yep. And then his teammate Saatchi followed it up at Oswego the following week. Battle up front here has been pretty good, though. Former winners. I've already documented Nick Johnson. You got Alex Gray, former winner from Bristol, and right behind them, you got Jonathan Zoerlein, former winner from Las Vegas. Another thing we should point out as well, too, a battle that we might not normally be watching, but we really should, in the fact that the Pizza X Series ride is on the line, is the battle for 5th in the point standings between the drivers that have been eliminated in this round. I guess really it's going to come down between Joshua Hyatt and Jonathan Zoerlein. Whoever of those two finishes the highest here tonight, they have an automatic guaranteed slot into the Pizza X Series. And I think right now that would go to Jonathan Zoerlein, because I have not really seen the 83 up towards the front until now. He's now up in the 4th spot, so now the battle may be on between those two. Joshua Hyatt, it was announced, has signed with William Brock Motorsports for next season in the TaxSlayer Truck Series, so you gotta wonder if he does end up getting a guaranteed spot into the Pizza X Series, if that will go through or not. Jonathan Zoerlein, there's been no word of what's going to be going on with him, as now the green flag pit stops begin. We saw before Alex Gray come to pit road, and now Nick Johnson will hit the pit lane, along with Madden and Tyler Deaver. About any of our other three of the championship four, looks like Marcus Saatchi's coming in, Jackson and Friesen. So they're coming in the exact same lap that Nick Johnson did. And here's that battle right there between 5th and 6th in points. Joshua Hyatt, Jonathan Zoerlein. Zoerlein came into this race 15 points ahead of, Hyatt came in 15 points ahead of Jonathan Zoerlein. And both of them will hit pit lane now, along with Paul Minnick, Seth Cole, the lap machine. And I believe that might turn the lead back over to the 0 of Alex Gray. Gray, I think, has got to come around one more time, bypassing a couple of former winners winners from the last 2 races. Jessica Miles in the 25, our winner from Eli Bright, our winner from Homestead last week. Tyler Deaver trying to merge up ahead of Alex Gray, not going to be able to do it, so Gray will at least come out in front of the 30 truck, but not ahead of the 42. Nick Johnson was able to win the battle between himself and the Zero off pit road, and as a result, he might cycle around as the race leader. Well, as soon as I say that, Alex Gray gets a heck of a run on him down the straightaway. Alex Gray will complete the pass, so now what about these guys here? There's Zoerlein, there's Minnick, there's Hyatt. And they get off pit road and up to speed before the Zero bypasses them on the back straightaway? Doesn't look like it. Alex Gray will cycle around back as the leader. Nick Johnson will be in second. Looks like Zoerlein will maybe be in third, Deaver fourth, Minnick fifth, and Joshua Hyatt in sixth, with Julius Anderson in seventh. Eighth place, Ryan Madden. And it looks like Ryan Brommer and Mason Wood, who got the penalty early, had to come to pit road. Well, they're now going to back here. And I don't know why, I thought the 31 of Stuart Gratton was off the lead lap. I thought he was one of those penalty trucks, but he's not. He's actually up right now in the third position. So don't count him out. And Eli Bright, who went to victory lane last week, he is now completed the top 10. Trying to go for back-to-back wins to end off the season here in the TaxSlayer Truck Series. Gray trying to hang on, trying to pick up ML Motorsports' second win in 3 races, and third win of the season for the team, second win of his career. Nick Johnson wants to win a championship, but I bet he also wants to win a race. Go to victory lane, he would be the only driver this season to have 3 wins in the TaxSlayer Truck Series. 4 drivers have 2 wins this season: Johnson, Saatchi, Jackson, and Joshua Hyatt. Actually, there are 2 others as well. I didn't notice them down at the bottom of the list: Nicholas Raill and Jordan Lopez. Tyler Deaver. Bit of a slingshot move there down the back straightaway. He's going to get Nick Johnson maybe for second. Don't think he's going to get Alex Gray. So after the pit stops, did that in any way help any of our championship competitors? It doesn't look like it. Carter Friesen right now is the second highest running of the playoff contenders, and he is all the way back in 24th place. Marcus Saatchi right there, he's back in 26th, and Jackson's currently in 28th. These 3 are basically waving the white flag of surrender to Nick Johnson. And like I said, the only person I think right now who could take this championship away from Nick Johnson would be Nick Johnson himself. Had a strong truck to start the night, fought his way to the top 10 early. I said before, none of the 4 championship competitors started this race inside the top 20, but it took Nick Johnson maybe about 5 laps to fight his way into the top 10. That's just how strong of a Tundra he's got. And trying to end the season on the most ideal note he could, going to victory lane with a win and the championship, he is all over the back bumper of Alex Gray. Gray's been to victory lane once, Deaver's been to victory lane once, and the caution is out. With about 10 laps to go, the caution is out, and this could be a big break for Jackson, Friesen, and Saatchi. Now, obviously, Nick Johnson has picked up some very valuable stage points tonight, and he's going to pick up even more here with the completion of our second stage, which we will hit when we get to the start-finish line. I mean, I think when he crosses the line, Nick Johnson will be up to 19 bonus points over the rest of the field. However, this could bring the 29, the 74, and the 4 back into the fight if Nick Johnson does not get a good restart. We're going to come around. None of the leaders are going to come to pit road because they know that they can get some valuable stage points here, crossing the stripe to complete stage number 2. And we will get a restart with less than 10 to go for our final stage of the evening here at Auto Club. For now, let's take a look and see what brought out the first caution of the night. And before we do that, we are going to jump all the way back to lap 1, the very start of the race. Here's what happened to Easton Barber in the 3. Just might have missed a gear, missed a shift or something. Look at the flames sparking out from underneath that race car, right in front of the field. And we saw some skid marks on the front straightaway. It's because right here, Marty Czekala in the 33 is going to run into the back of the 3. Eli Sazak's going to get a little piece of that as well. And that is what caused those skid marks on the front straightaway. But since it was near the rear of the field, we did not have a caution flag thrown. But that's what happened to the 3 truck of Easton Barber. Now let's see what actually brought out the first caution of the night. Jake Rogers was having such a good run here tonight. He was in the 14th position at the time, and just like Easton Barber, mechanical problem plaguing the 52 right there. Engine goes south. They run such high RPMs here, and they have such speed that sometimes if you pack that grill too much with tape, that engine has a chance of overheating. That might have been what happened here to Jake Rogers. Now this engine expiring was not enough to bring out the caution, but when they get down here into turn number 1, drivers trying to maneuver their way to the bottom and the outside of the racetrack on the 92. There's a little contact right there for Ryan Brommer, and then here comes Mason Wood in the 92. His car got tight down on the bottom of the racetrack, gets into Jake Rogers. Both of them going to go up and get the outside wall pretty well. They both slide back down the racetrack, and I don't know if they sweep anybody up or not. Boy, Carter Friesen with a close call right there, and it looks like those might have been the only 2 that got involved in that incident there. So all our playoff contenders got through it. You saw Saatchi and Jackson just there working their way by. So that's what brought out the caution. Mechanical problem leads to a wreck coming out of the second corner, and we get ready for a restart with less than 10 laps to go. Green flag set to come back out. When we go back green, there will be 7 laps remaining in tonight's event. Alex Gray the leader. Nick Johnson, who looks like he might have this championship wrapped up, is second. Tyler Deaver third. S Gratton in fourth. Fifth place is Paul Minnick. Then it's Julius Anderson, Jonathan Zoerlein, Joshua Hyatt, Eli Bright, and Ryan Madden. Your top 10 as you saw the completion of stage 2. Who got stage points, who didn't? Right now, Nick Johnson holds a 19-point bonus point lead over his other 3 competitors. The rest of your playoff contenders: Carter Friesen restarts 21st, Marcus Saatchi 24th, Charles Jackson 27th. They need to win the race to stop Nick Johnson from winning this championship. Out of the race, the cars of Jake Rogers, Mason Wood. They join Easton Barber in the garage area. Green flag back in the air. 7 laps to go. Johnson gets kicked up to the high side there. 3 wide, Gratton to the bottom, Deaver in the middle. Johnson just trying to find a safe haven. But remember, this system works just like it did in the postseason for the other 2 rounds. Win and you're in kind of situation. Well, if one of the 4 championship competitors goes to victory lane here tonight, they win the championship. So Nick Johnson has to hope and pray that none of his 4 championship competitors, that this caution helps them to get up towards the front, as Eli Bright will move into second place. By passing Paul Minnick, he's trying to go back-to-back wins. Nick Johnson still caught up on that high line, and one driver that is making some forward progress of the 4 championship competitors is Carter Friesen in the 29. And he's closing in on Nick Johnson. But it doesn't matter how much he closes in. Nick Johnson's got 19 bonus points here tonight. Carter Friesen's got none. Only chance Carter Friesen has of maybe taking the championship is to win this race. That's the only thing he can do right now. Meanwhile, up front, new race leader, Eli Bright in the 7. Eli, after his win last week, jumped up in the point standings to, if I can find him here, 21st in points. It's been a rather mediocre season for that team, but if he could finish out the year with back-to-back wins, that would be huge for the 7 team. J Lagasee in the 11, right there with him. Lagasee 13th in points, still chasing his first victory of his career. J Srigley is now up to 3rd in the 90. He's 11th in the point standings coming into this race and still looking for his first win of the season. As we jump back here, Brad Keselowski Racing Trucks working together. Isaac Nicholls trying to pave the way for his teammate Carter Friesen in the 29, who is now side by side with Nick Johnson. It's the first time tonight Nick Johnson's been able to look to his left or right and see a fellow playoff contender beside him. M Saatchi starting to close in on this group as well, but this is back somewhere just outside of the top 10. It needs to be up at the front for the race lead for Carter Friesen to have a chance of winning this championship. And Nick Johnson now in the middle is going to clear. He's going to open up a little bit of distance again between himself and the 29 as he's finally found his way back to the bottom. Due to the fact that none of these guys are running currently up inside of the top 10, we'll follow the battle for the race win, because that's going to be probably more important. And it's going to be 3 wide out of turn 4. Lagasee, Srigley, Eli Bright. Srigley up the middle is going to take the race lead. Bright's going to try and battle back on the top side. Can't do it. 2 laps to go. No sign up here in the front of the 29, the 74, or the 4. Unless Nick Johnson gets involved in a wreck here in the closing stages and crashes or something, I think that's the only chance that any of those other 3 would have a chance of winning this championship, and even then it may not be completely out of the hands of Nick Johnson. It's going to be the white flag this time. Look at Lagasee with a big run through 3 and 4. Man, he got a heck of a run. But the outside line now kicks in on the straightaway. White flag displayed. Srigley, Lagasee, Eli Bright. These will be the 3 that'll probably settle it out as Bright's going to clear Lagasee for second on the high side. Now can Eli Bright make a move on Joseph Srigley for the win? Lagasee to the inside for second. Can't get to the inside of the 7 yet. Trying, can't do it. Eli Bright, will he make a move on Srigley down here into 3 and 4? He's looking, he's peeking, he's to the bottom. Lagasee goes with him. Eli Bright, big forward momentum out of turn 4. He'll move up and block. Eli Bright, back-to-back wins to end the season. He takes the checkered flag here tonight in the Lucas Oil Mist 200. He took the checkers last week at Homestead Miami Speedway. Tonight, he takes the checkers at Auto Club. Eli Bright is the winner and finishing 10th place here tonight. Your inaugural TaxSlayer Truck Series champion, the 42 of Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson was the only driver last week of the playoff contenders to finish in the top 10 in all 3 stages, and tonight the same holds true as he finished second, and 10th in our 3 stages of the evening. Talk about coming in with a game plan. He was the only playoff driver tonight to get any bonus points of any kind. He accumulated 20 in total, and that more than iced it for the rest of the competition. What a season for Nick Johnson. And you gotta wonder if he moves up. He's got a guaranteed spot in the Pizza X Series. If he moves up to the Pizza X Series for his third full-time season. What kind of a Nick Johnson are we going to see now? Probably one with a lot more confidence, knowing he is now a NNSCRA champion in the Truck Series. Eli Bright with the win. J Lagasee, a bridesmaid, once again will have to settle for second to cap off his season. Srigley will have to settle for third. Joshua Ciculli, great run for him. A very dismal season, even though he did have one trip to victory lane, but he'll get fourth. P Minnick will finish fifth. Tyler Deaver in sixth. The car that was the strongest tonight will get seventh. That's Alex Gray. Carter Friesen did manage to end off his season with an 8th place run here tonight, but he did not accumulate nearly the stage points that Nick Johnson did, and only finishing 2 spots ahead of the 42 is not going to cut it, but he will probably finish the season out second overall in the point standings. Zach Rogers will finish out the evening in 9th, and the champion Nick Johnson will finish in 10th. Where did the rest of the other 2 championship competitors finish? M Saatchi will finish out the evening in 16th place, and Charles Jackson nowhere to be seen. He faded all the way back to last car on the lead lap in the 34th position. So certainly a dismal performance to end off the season for the 4 team. As far as the battle between Joshua Hyatt and Jonathan Zoerlein, Zoerlein finished the race in the 11th position. Hyatt finished in 18th. We know that Zoerlein got himself some stage points, so I don't know between those two who ended up finishing 5th overall in the point standings, because whoever did is going to have a guaranteed spot in the Pizza Deck Series next season. Johnson, Friesen, Saatchi, and Jackson came into this race already with guaranteed slots into the Pizza Deck Series due to the fact they were not going to fall outside of the top 5 in the points, being the final 4 competing for this championship. But how about Nick Johnson? Nick Johnson, with this top 10 finish, ends out the season with his statistics looking like this: 25 starts, 2 wins, 6 top 5s, 11 top 10s. What an amazing season it has been for that 42 truck team, and they cap it off with a championship trophy here to hoist tonight. So Eli Bright finishes out the season with back-to-back wins, and Nick Johnson takes the championship. What else are we going to see here this weekend at the Auto Club Speedway? I can give you a little bit of an idea. I think we're going to have 2 more champions in Pizza Deck Series and Hershey's Cup Series. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's race. Thank you for tuning into this season of the TaxSlayer Truck Series. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give that video a like. Subscribe to become a part of the crew today. We have shown you your full finish results. These are your official season standings, with Nick Johnson taking the championship. We'll see you guys next season for Season 2. We cap off this weekend with Pizza Deck Series and Hershey's Cup Series action from Auto Club, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.